Good evening. The sun himself is weak when he first rises and gathers strength and courage as the day gets on. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. PCR test and precautionary quarantine are cancelled for passengers arriving in the Kingdom of Bahrain from 20th February. Bahrain cancelled the precautionary isolation for contacts of active cases starting from 20th February. UAE issued new laws for safety of construction workers. Saudi specified penalties for COVID protocol violations by private firms. Mudslides and floods kill at least 117 in Brazil's Petrópolis. News in detail. PCR test and precautionary quarantine are cancelled for passengers arriving in the Kingdom of Bahrain from 20th February, based on recommendations made by the National Medical Task Force for combating the coronavirus. The Civil Aviation Affairs has announced an update to the Kingdom of Bahrain's health entry procedures at Bahrain International Airport. The following procedures will be effective from Sunday 20th February. All passengers arriving in the Kingdom of Bahrain do not need to conduct a PCR test upon arrival. Cancellation of the precautionary quarantine for all passengers arriving in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Bahrain cancelled the precautionary isolation for contacts of active cases starting from 20th February. Following an approval by the Government Executive Committee, the National Medical Task Force for combating the coronavirus announced that the protocols for contacts of active cases have been updated and will go into effect starting from Sunday, 20th February 2022. According to the updated protocols, contacts of active cases will no longer have to undergo a precautionary period of isolation. This includes individuals who do not hold a green shield on the Be Aware application. Also, as part of the updated contacts protocol, tests will only be conducted for individuals experiencing COVID-19 related symptoms through the following options. Conducting a rapid test. If the result of the rapid test is positive, individuals must head directly to one of the drive-through testing centers to conduct a PCR test, or conduct a PCR test at the private hospital, or book a PCR test via the Be Aware application if experiencing any COVID-19 related symptoms, or call 444 to book an appointment for a PCR test if experiencing COVID-19 related symptoms. The task force stressed the importance of continuing to adhere to the precautionary measures and the latest updates to protocols in order to maintain the kingdom's successful coronavirus response and to preserve public health. Bahraini and Egyptian foreign ministers discussed bilateral relations and regional developments. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Sameh Shoukry, reviewed brotherly relations between the two countries and the means to enhance joint cooperation in various fields for the common interests of the two countries and their people. The two sides also addressed developments at the political and security levels and underlined strengthening joint coordination towards current Arab and regional issues in support of the process of joint Arab action for the interest of Arab countries and for the security and stability in the region. Foreign Minister received Indian Ambassador Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani. Minister of Foreign Minister received the ministry's headquarters, Piyush Srivastava, the Ambassador of India to Bahrain. Discussions focused on historical ties that unties Bahrain and India and boosting ties to broader horizons, enhancing opportunities for bilateral cooperation and issues of common interest. Ambassador Fatima Abdullah Al Dain, the head of the Afro-Asian Affairs sector at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, was present. Speaker calls for deepening Arab solidarity to face challenges. Speaker of the Council of Representatives and Chairperson of the Executive Committee of the Parliamentary Delegation, Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal, has asserted that, in line with His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's vision, Bahrain is committed to its firm approach based on cooperation and solidarity within its efforts to strengthen human fraternity. She indicated that the kingdom believes that the Arab nation's strongest weapon in the face of all foreign efforts to target its capabilities and interests in the adoption of unified stances regarding its fateful issues. She stressed that there is an urgent need for Arab parliaments to deepen the one-team spirit, develop joint Arab solidarity, and support cooperation among Arab countries to face the unprecedented challenges and risks to the Arab nation, confronting them by adopting a unified approach and joint policies. She affirmed that what unites Arab peoples is greater than what divides them, calling on Arab parliaments to enhance their role in strengthening Arab unity and solidarity. Dr. Fatima Al-Kuhaji, elected as chairperson of Arab Inter-Parliamentary Union Women and Child Committee. The Shura Council member, Dr. Fatima Abdul Jabbar Al-Kuhaji, has been elected chairperson of the Women and Child Committee of the Arab Inter-Parliamentary Union. The election took place during the participation of the Bahraini parliamentary delegation led by Representatives Council Speaker Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal in the 32nd conference of AIPU being held in Cairo under the theme Arab Solidarity. During the Women and Child Committee meeting, Dr. Al-Kuhaji underlined the importance of activating the role of women in the Arab societies, pointing out the need to boost their participation in international gatherings. She pointed out the big strides made by Bahrain in women empowerment by implementing many strategies and initiatives. She took pride in the achievements brought about by Bahraini women and their contributions to the kingdom's comprehensive development march. IGA Chief Chairs Inaugural Tak'im 3 Committee Meeting. Information and E-Government Authority Chief Executive Muhammad Ali Al-Qaid chaired the inaugural meeting of the Tak'im Committee following the issuance of Edict 6 of 2022 to restructure it. The meeting discussed the roles of the committee and the developments related to the third cycle of the Government Service Center Evaluation Program, which will be implemented through April 2022. Al-Qaid extended thanks to His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, for issuing the edict to restructure the committee. He congratulated the members on being assigned this important task and wished them success, wishing the new members success and highlighting their experience and what they will bring to the committee. Foreign Minister briefed Editors-in-Chief on latest developments. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, held discussions at the Ministry with the Editors-in-Chief of local newspapers. The Minister briefed the latest developments and diplomatic efforts made to implement the foreign policy of Bahrain at the regional and international levels. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. UAE issued new laws for safety of construction workers. UAE has issued a new decree aimed at enhancing worker safety in construction sites and to provide accommodation. Establishments with 50 or more workers where the wage of each worker is less than AED 1,500 per month need to provide labor accommodation. Also, construction and industrial workers will not be permitted to work outdoors or in places under the sun from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. starting from June 15 to September 15. Industrial establishments and companies with 100 or more employees need to hire a health and safety officer to ensure laborers are protected from various risks in the workplace. The officer will be tasked to ensure safety procedures are being met in construction sites. Workers should be provided with safety gear and suitable clothing to protect them from any injuries on site. First aid kits and fire extinguishers shall be placed in construction premises, along with a specialist on site to deliver first aid when needed. The decree provides that employers must take all necessary measures to ensure the safety and protection of employees against injuries, diseases, or any hazards in the workplace, such as sharp objects, explosive or inflammable materials, electric circuits, and compressed gases. Workers are obliged by law to use protective gear and follow instructions at all times after being properly briefed by the employer. The new labor law grants employers the right to impose penalties for each worker who violates safety measures at work. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. To have a wonderful shopping experience, please visit your nearest Megamart Macromart branch. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Saudi again imposed travel ban for India. Saudi Passport Directorate reincarnated India in the list of countries where Saudi citizens should not go due to COVID. India's name was removed from the list of banned countries as the spread of COVID decreased and the threat declined. But India is in the updated list. Saudi citizens have travel restrictions to Lebanon, Turkey, Yemen, Syria, Indonesia, Iran, Armenia, Congo, Libya, Belarus, Vietnam, Ethiopia, Somalia, Afghanistan and Venezuela. It is believed that in these countries too, there could be a similar travel ban to Saudi. More official clarifications are awaited on this matter. Saudi Arabia prepares for Kingdom's Founding Day. Preparations are underway across cities in Saudi Arabia to mark Founding Day, which celebrates the origins and history of the kingdom. Founding Day will be commemorated for the first time on February 22nd. Several musical and cultural events will be held in the capital Riyadh and other cities to mark the day. These events to mark the kingdom's historical legacy will be held until February 24th in other Saudi cities such as Jeddah, Dammam, Abha and Najran. Saudi specified penalties for COVID protocol violations by private firms. Saudi Arabia on Thursday listed the penalties for private sector establishments that violate preventive measures against coronavirus. Several actions have also been clarified that will be construed as violations of the preventive protocols approved by the competent authority to confront the COVID-19 pandemic. They include, most notably, not checking the health status of individuals through the Tawakkalana application, allowing unvaccinated individuals to enter the premises, failure to obligate employees to conduct examinations, allowing employees to refuse to wear a medical mask, a cloth mask, or whatever that covers the nose and mouth, allow entry to a person who has tested positive for the COVID-19 virus, failure to provide sterilizers and disinfectants inside the facility, failure to disinfect and sterilize shopping baskets and carts after each use in supermarkets, non-compliance with the disinfection facilities and surfaces inside the establishments. The ministry confirmed that in case of non-compliance, violation tickets are issued according to the size and the number of employees in the establishments. The penalty will be doubled in case of repeat offences and can reach Saudi Riyal 200,000 and the And the entity responsible will also face closure for a period not exceeding 6 months. The person who is responsible for a facility will be punished according to its specified size. In case of repeating the violation, the person who is responsible for the facility will face imprisonment according to legal procedures. Final exam to be held offline for all school students in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has revealed that the term-end examinations for all levels of schooling will be held in person. All students will sit in person for the exams in all basic subjects for the second semester offline. As for students who are unable to sit in the exams, whether due to sickness or other circumstances, their schools will reschedule their missed exams at the beginning of the next semester. The final exams for all educational levels have been scheduled to start on Sunday, the 3rd of the Hijri month of Shaban, Rajab 26, which will be a normal school day. Mudslides and floods kill at least 117 in Brazil's Petropolis. The death toll from mudslides and floods in Brazil's colonial-era city of Petropolis rose to 117 on Thursday and was expected to increase further as the region reels from the heaviest rains in almost a century, said Reuters. Heavy downpours in this afternoon, when the city recorded some 6 centimeters of rain, caused even more soil instability and disrupted efforts to find survivors and clean up the debris. Up to 4 centimeters of rain is expected overnight in the region, according to meteorologists. More than 700 people had to leave their homes and take shelter in local schools and other makeshift accommodation. Rio de Janeiro Governor Claudio Castro on Wednesday compared the damage to a war zone. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, who has promised to visit the region upon his return from an official trip to Russia and Hungary, has pledged federal assistance to help the population and start rebuilding the area. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayanan, signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.